like a hug for my face. I'm like, this is expensive, guys. I'm not feeding my sponge any of this, okay? It's bougie. Hydrated, very juicy, almost like glass skin. What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sophia, and this is my channel, Sophia Sees Beauty, where we talk about all things beauty and makeup. Today, I'm gonna be giving you guys a full review of the Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation. This is not a new product on the market, but it is new to me, and I've been testing this foundation out for the past couple of weeks, and I have some thoughts. So if you guys are interested in this particular foundation and you want to hear a little bit more about how it applies, how it wears, and who I think this is good for, keep watching. And if you are new here, welcome. As I mentioned, my name is Sophia. I am a luxury beauty YouTuber and Instagrammer. I upload content every single week about luxury beauty, new releases, and cult favorites like the Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation. If that is the kind of content that you like to watch, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you as a part of my community, and you also can hit the notification bell to hear about every time I post a new video. Before we get into this, I will also mention that everything that I mentioned in this video and whatever is on my face, etc., will be linked in the description box down below. Now, some of these links may be affiliate links, and all that means is that if you shop for anything using those links and you make a purchase, I get a very small commission for that purchase, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So I do want to mention that. In fact, it's a really great way to support my channel. So if you guys are interested in any of the products that I mentioned after watching this review, definitely consider shopping my links, because I reinvest all of that revenue into this channel to make more content for you guys. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and it lets me know what kind of content you guys enjoy. And with that, let's get into the product details. All right, guys, let's get into the product details. If you guys are not familiar with Chantecaille, this is a luxury beauty and skincare brand. They were originally family owned, but then recently they announced that they were being acquired by a company called Beiersdorf AG. I hope that I pronounced that right. That is the same company that owns La Prairie and I think a couple of other luxury beauty and skincare brands. And Chantecaille focuses a lot on using active botanicals and skincare in a lot of their products. They also have a lot of really interesting conservationist efforts. So they sort of market themselves as kind of a clean beauty brand that's like doing good in the world. So definitely I will link down below their about page so you can learn a little bit more about this particular brand. Now, taking a look at this product in particular, this is called the Chantecaille Future Skin Oil-Free Gel Foundation. I think I got all of that right. And I have the shade Alabaster. This comes in 15 shades, and this is actually the third lightest shade. I know, for once, I'm not like the lightest shade. And I think this is actually a really good skin match for me. I am wearing it today. You guys will see in the demo how this applies. And so this really is exactly what it is described as, which is a gel foundation. Now, this is supposed to be incredibly moisturizing as well, even though it is oil free, and it's supposed to have that sort of really smooth gel-like texture. I'm going to read a little bit from the Chantecaille website about this particular product. Future Skin transfers moisture into the skin without the use of oil as an emulsifier. Made with reflective circular pigments that provide adjustable coverage, medium to full, and ease the appearance of flaws. It's also loaded with natural botanicals including aloe, chamomile, and arnica that calm irritation and soothe sensitive skin. Rosemary, green tea, and rice bran help prevent environmentally caused oxidation, crafted in Japan. And this product is made without any animal testing, no parabens, it's fragrance-free, and it's phthalate-free. So all good stuff for us. Personally, I don't like a lot of fragrance in my foundations. That's kind of the biggest thing for me. And obviously I love products also that are cruelty-free. So the biggest draw for me is that this is supposed to be very, very moisturizing and soothing, almost like skincare. And so that really drew me in, because for those of you who are new here, I have very dry skin. And when I'm looking at a foundation, the biggest things that I'm taking into consideration are that it doesn't make me look like a crusty crab by the end of the day, and it covers up my hyperpigmentation. My biggest skin concerns are just skin dryness and just covering up a lot of the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation that I have on my cheeks from having years of acne. So my skin is pretty clear right now. I don't like anything that is super full coverage. So I definitely look for something that's more of a medium coverage, super hydrating, and gives a really nice radiant glow, whether that be from sort of blurring, light reflecting pigments or something that just has a natural sheen to it. That being said, I don't want anything that is going to be like super sticky and tacky and not necessarily dried down. And so that kind of seems like what this particular foundation claims to be. This also says that it's supposed to be medium to full coverage. We'll kind of evaluate that in the demo, and I'll let you know a little bit more about that in my final thoughts. I also really like that it says this is going to be using pigments to kind of blur the skin, and then even more importantly, something that's going to be sort of very cooling and soothing from an irritation perspective. It is winter right now, and there's basically a blizzard right outside my window at the moment, and my skin gets very, very irritated this time of year. And so this almost seems like it's going to be a savior to me based off of the claim. So I'm really excited to test this out for you guys and let you know, is this soothing for me and my dry skin? Does it blur my imperfections? And does it provide medium to full coverage? All right, party people, let's get into the demo of this beautiful Chantecaille foundation. I'm so excited to show this to you guys. And if you haven't seen it already, this is the packaging that it comes in. It's kind of like a little jar. This isn't my favorite kind of packaging just because it can be a little bit hard to like get into it. I prefer more of like a pump bottle or a squeezy tube. But that being said, it's all good. We figure out ways to use it. And so it just comes up like that. I am wearing the shade Alabaster. I think this is the first or second lightest color in the shade. And it does have a little bit of like a peachy tint to it. And I'll kind of show you on my skin. See how it has just like a very nice kind of like gel-like sheen, and it does blend right into my skin. And you'll kind of get a sense of the coverage when we put it on, but I just want to show you it, even though it's maybe like a little bit peachier than some of the other colors that I would typically use, which would have more of a neutral undertone, Alabaster definitely kind of just melts into my skin. So don't be too worried if the shade isn't perfect or exactly like what you have in your collection, because these do kind of blend in. It is a sheer formula. And so you can see right here, it has kind of a like gel-like almost pudding texture. You know, when you have those like snack packs when you were little and you like take the top off and you know, you guys know what I'm talking about, like the pudding packs. It's kind of like that texture. That's how, I don't know, my mind always goes straight to dessert, guys. So yeah, it has kind of like a gel pudding-like texture. And so the way that I like to apply this particular foundation is with a brush. So the two brushes that I particularly enjoy are, number one, this is the Sonia G Classic Base. This is from her Fusion series, which I think recently was restocked, so I will try and link that down below. I like to just kind of dip this into the jar. And then a more affordable option, which I also really like, is this Sephora. This is the Pro Foundation number 47 brush. And I use this for foundation, for concealer, for everything. It's like kind of the perfect size to get in around all of the nooks and crannies on your face. And it has just kind of that like, almost like paw-like shape, so you can really kind of brush it onto your face. So this is what I'm gonna be using right now. Maybe we'll use a combination of the two, and let's get into it. And real quick, let me just show you guys my skin. If you haven't seen my other foundation videos, this is my skin. I just have, you know, a lot of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation from having, you know, years and years of acne, and my skin is dry, but I've prepped it with my creme de la mer. So it's nice and hydrated right now. Recently did my skincare, but I do have kind of like an uneven skin tone that I just want to even out. And what I'm going to be looking for is for this to be super duper hydrating, but also cover up some of that hyperpigmentation and not be dry and crusty by the end of the day. Okay, so this is what I do, guys. I honestly just dip my brush in just a little bit, and I kind of like scrape it on the side, and then I just paint it. And I want to show you what that looks like. See how gel-like and moisturizing that looks? It's almost like I'm putting skincare on my face. And it is a lighter coverage, but you can see how instantly this is my skin without the foundation. This is my skin with the foundation. And I would recommend using a brush or using your fingers. I think a sponge is just gonna soak up way too much of this. And like, this is expensive, guys. I'm not feeding my sponge any of this, okay? It's bougie. So you can see here, it's very, very lightweight. and it has kind of like a juicy sheen to it, but it did cover up quite a bit. And I will, you know, obviously share more throughout the wear test and in my final thoughts, but I have been testing this out for on and off like 2 to 3 weeks now when I haven't been testing other products for my reviews. And I feel like I have a really, really good opinion on how this wears and who this is for. And I kind of like to call this, it's almost like a hug for your face. Like it really does feel like skincare when you're putting it on. It feels very, almost like a little bit cooling, very soothing. I know that sounds weird because this is foundation, but I think with Chantecaille, they're really trying to infuse skincare into everything that they do. And it really did become apparent in this product. This is the first kind of like base product that I have from Chantecaille. I don't have any of their skincare. I just have, I had like a blush duo and some eyeshadows. And so this is kind of the first complexion product that I'm buying from them. I'll kind of show you with the Sonia G brush as well what this looks like. I just kind of tap it in. And this is great because you can kind of like buff it in like this instead of painting it on. They both work really well though. I like the Sephora one. It's very affordable. I use that one more for concealer day to day. But I really like this one as well for these kind of like potted foundations. I have this one and I have the Suku. So this is kind of like my go-to brush for the Suku, but the other one from Sephora is good as well, just because this is a very light formula. Okay, so I used barely any product. Like this looks like a very small jar, but I used barely any product. And this is what it looks like. It's got this dewy sheen, but it's not sticky. It's not sticky. You guys will see in the wear test what it looks like over the course of the day, and you can kind of blur out some of the imperfections on my eyelids. See, my skin is still peeking through, almost like a skin tint, but it did cover up a lot of my discoloration. And my skin feels very hydrated, very juicy, almost like glass skin. You know that glass skin look that's very popular, especially in like a lot of like Japanese and Korean makeup. They really like that sort of aesthetic. That's what this gives me. So yeah, just kind of showing you guys up close. It went really, really evenly over my nose here, which is usually very dry and nothing sticks to it. So it stuck to it and it looks very good, even though it's a very thin formula. So yeah, I just wanna give you guys a good look. Now I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I will meet you guys in the wear test where I will kind of show you clips of how this wore throughout the course of the day. Okay guys, so I have the rest of my makeup on today. I am just wearing the Chantecaille gel bronzer, and then I'm also wearing the Clé de Peau concealer as well. So that is what I have on my eyes today. Everything will be linked down below in the description box. I just want to show you guys, I already filmed a wear test of this particular foundation, and I'm going to just kind of walk you through the clips of my experience and give you guys some commentary of how I think this particular foundation wears over the course of the day. So let's get into that. Starting off with my clip from just a couple hours of wear, you will see that this foundation looks virtually the same as when I first put it on. It definitely has a little bit of my skin showing through, and I'm not really getting any dry patches. Honestly, it looks pretty good. Like it still continues to look dewy. And you will also notice I've layered the Chantecaille gel bronzer here as well, and it doesn't disturb any of the foundation underneath. It really does stay, which I think is pretty unique for a dewy foundation, because I think sometimes you get something that is a little bit more glowy or a little bit more dewy in texture, and you end up kind of like brushing away some of the foundation when you're putting on more of your complexion products like bronzer and blush as well. So I was really, really impressed with the fact that nothing was disturbed when I layered more makeup on top. Next up, I have a clip of when I wore this foundation for a full work day. And I don't know about you guys, but I still thought it looked absolutely amazing. I don't know if you can tell from my expression in these clips, but I still was very impressed that at the end of the day, this was completely hydrating my skin. I have been testing a lot of foundations recently, including the new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. And if you guys haven't seen that review, I will link it here and down below. But essentially, guys, that one did not work out for me. I was so crusty even after like a couple of hours, and with this particular foundation, I still saw like such a nice healthy glow at the end of the day. And this is like one of the first times in like the past couple of weeks since it really got cold here in the Northeast where I didn't have dry patches around my mouth, and my nose was not dry either. I was extremely impressed that it was sticking to my nose. That is, if you guys have watched my videos before, you know my nose is very dry and like nothing likes to stick to it. Alrighty, and lastly, I have a clip here of me at the very end of the night. At this point, I had been wearing a mask. I think I also went to the gym that day, if I recall correctly. And once again, you know, I think that the mask, it did rub off a little bit of the foundation, which honestly, guys, all of my foundations, that's kind of the case these days, is that if you're out in the cold and you're wearing a mask and it's rubbing against your face, it's going to take off some of the pigment, but it didn't look patchy. Whereas some of the foundations that I've been testing, the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, they looked very, very patchy and dry after this kind of experience. The nice thing about the Chantecaille is that because it's such a smooth gel-like texture, it doesn't get patchy. So even if it wears away a little bit, your skin still feels hydrated and nourished, and it doesn't look dry and patchy is basically what I'm trying to say. So honestly, guys, I was extremely impressed with this foundation and the way that it wore, and I've been testing it ever since. These clips are from my first experience wearing it, and I was really impressed. And ever since then, every single time that I've been wearing this foundation, which has been for the past 2 to 3 weeks now, I've had the same experience. So I feel very, very confident in being able to tell you guys how this particular product wears for me, having dry skin and using this sort of gel-like formula. All right, guys, I hope that that wear test was helpful for you. Now we're gonna dive into my final thoughts where I let you guys know, do I recommend this $79 foundation? Let's get into it. Okay, guys, I hope that that demo and the wear test was helpful for you. Now it is time for my final thoughts. What do I think of this $79 foundation, and do I think that it is worth your hard-earned money? Okay, let's back up a second and take a look at the claims that this foundation made. It said that this foundation is moisturizing. It basically said that it's going to blur imperfections. It said that it is soothing, and it says that it is medium to full coverage. So let's just kind of walk through all of those, and I'll let you know what I think of each claim. Starting off with moisturizing, I think that this is incredibly moisturizing. Like, they really did a good job of making something that is super easily blendable, goes onto the skin so seamlessly, and really just keeps your skin hydrated and supple all day. This really feels like putting skincare on your face. Skincare that kind of stays on your face all day, doesn't move, and continues to look good even throughout cold weather, even throughout wearing a mask, etc. So yes, I do think that this is particularly hydrating. Now to the second claim, yes, I also think that this is blurring. You guys kind of saw during the demo, you swipe this on, and although it has a very, very light gel texture, for some reason, it really does blur everything. Like, this gives you that glass skin look. If that's the kind of look that you want, where your skin is almost like translucent, like there's almost like a layer of like glass and gel on top of your skin without it looking kind of like greasy and sweaty. That's what this gives you. And you think that you would have to pile this on a ton, but you really don't. You guys saw in the demo, like I barely had to put any of this on my skin. It really just goes on so smooth. And I also love the fact that I can layer other things on top of this, including the Chantecaille gel bronzer, which I have on today, including other powder products, and it doesn't disturb the makeup underneath. So yes, I think that it is blurring and moisturizing, but what's also nice is that it's not tacky or sticky. Nothing's gonna stick to your face. It just feels like your skin's like really nice and hydrated. Now, moving on to the other claim, which says that this is sort of like soothing and calming. I have to say that I agree, guys, because I've been testing out a bunch of different base products over the past month or two, and This has done the best job of not irritating my skin. And it's not that other products did irritate my skin, it's that my skin just gets very irritated this time of year. It is now January. As I mentioned, there's a blizzard outside right now. And no matter what I do, no matter how I prep my skin, there's always sort of that element of my skin barrier being kind of like disrupted and dehydrated. And I don't have any issues when I wear this particular foundation. Like, it really feels like a hug for my face. Like, it feels like a hug for my face, guys. All I can say is that I've been wearing this nonstop, and every time I wear this, my skin looks amazing. My skin isn't dry. I have basically no dry patches, and I just feel like my skin is a little bit healthier, and it does feel soothed. So I don't know what to tell you guys, but there's some magic skincare in this. It works so, so well. Now, I want to get back to the last claim, which says that this is medium to full coverage. And I don't think I would call this full coverage, to be honest with you. I would say this is more like light to medium buildable coverage, because it does do a very good job of blurring your skin, and it does do a good job of covering up my hyperpigmentation. But I think that if you had a lot of acne or a lot of scarring or melasma, if you just have a lot more that you're kind of trying to cover up, I don't think this is necessarily going to be the best for you. I think this is really good for folks who have normal to dry skin and who don't mind something where their skin is going to show through just a little bit, but they enjoy that sort of glass skin blurring effect. I don't think this is going to be good for folks who maybe have much oilier skin or have a lot more pigmentation, because this just isn't a full coverage foundation. So that's the only claim that I sort of don't really agree with, but I still think that it gives, at least for me, a decent amount of coverage, and it definitely warrants the $79 price tag. In addition to it keeping my skin hydrated, I feel like it didn't come off too much when I was wearing my mask throughout all the times that I tested it. I didn't feel like I needed to use a primer at all. In fact, I don't think I ever used a primer with this foundation. I really didn't feel like I needed to. There were many times where I was just sitting next to a heater all day, putting a mask on and off, going out in the freezing cold, going into shopping malls, you know the drill, guys. And I feel like this also had really, really good longevity. Is it gonna wear as well as a like super matte long wear foundation? No, but you know what? For something that is like very natural and beautiful and glowy and dewy, this has really good lasting power. So I wanted to mention that as well, because I know that a lot of you're wearing the mask, you're out and about, and that is something that is of bigger consideration at the moment. So I want to mention that as well. So all in all, guys, my review of this, honestly, this might be my new holy grail. I don't think I've been as excited about a foundation since I tried the Suku foundation, which I actually have right here and is another jar foundation. If you guys want me to do kind of like a little beauty battle with these, definitely comment down below and let me know what you think, because these are now two of my all-time favorite foundations of all time. If you're going to ask me if this is worth it, I'm gonna say absolutely. Like, this is a glowing review, guys. This is like, you need this foundation. And I tell you guys, when I think certain things are not worth it, I would be happy to pay another $79 for this if I ran out of this. Quite frankly though, I think this is going to last me a very, very long time. It didn't take me a lot of product to put all over my face. And I know that I can put this on, I can feel good, I can look good, and my skin is going to be nourished. So yes, final thoughts here. I love this foundation. I think it's worth the $79. I wish I could offer you guys some more comparisons, but I just don't honestly have anything in my collection that is this good. I have other skin tints that I enjoy. I have other sort of glowy foundations that I enjoy. But at the end of the day, this has some of the best longevity, some of the best blurring, and some of the best moisturizing effects that I've tried from any foundation ever. Anyway, guys, I hope that this review was helpful for you all. Please comment down below and let me know what you think of this foundation. Is it something that works for you? Because your opinion is just as good as mine. I'm just one skin type. You know, I have dry skin. I know I don't have a lot of acne anymore. I don't have as much hyperpigmentation as I used to. So I'd love to hear from you guys who maybe have different skin types, how you got along with this particular foundation and what your recommendation is. And if you made it this far in the video, maybe that means that you enjoyed this video and you are interested in subscribing to my channel. definitely consider subscribing. As I mentioned, I upload content every single week. I would love to have you as a part of my community. So definitely hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to hear about every time I post a new video. I will also put my Instagram up here and in the description box down below. I connect with you guys on Instagram every single day. I like to post a lot of sort of unboxings of things that I'm ordering, what I'm buying, great sales in the beauty community, and I show you guys sneak peeks of all of the products I'm going to be reviewing along with swatches of brand new releases. So if you guys are interested in just kind of connecting with me a little bit, or you love to see a little bit more like beauty news and beauty unboxings in your timeline, then definitely follow me on Instagram as well. Woo! Finally, guys, we were at the end of the video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful for you or if you enjoyed watching it. That definitely helps me out. And I will have all of my links, affiliate or not, down below for you guys to shop. Please consider shopping through my links if you guys would like to support my channel. Anyway, guys, I hope you are having a wonderful day and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.